Hey folks, I wanted to give an update on our friend the Theurge here, or I pronounce him. I've got him done as about as far as he's going to get with Foundry. So, well, I'm a little disappointed to be honest, but it works, right? It works well enough to use him in a game for sure. So if I pull up, we can see here to start with, took the time to arrange all the stuff that we imported from Deep Magic 1 and 2 into various folders, right? That's very colorful, but you can see I've got all kinds of different options now for my classes. I haven't gone through all these and fixed them all yet. I'm probably going to do that on a per request basis kind of thing. I mean, there's a lot, especially in Deep Magic 1. There's definitely more things, classes, subclasses, I should say, in Deep Magic 1 versus 2. I mean, the cleric alone has like at least 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. More like 15. The wizard has another, whatever it is, 3, 2, 3, 2, 11. You get the idea. So, I haven't gone and cleaned them all up, but just looking through as I kind of glanced at them, it's going to be very similar to what we did with Witch, right? You're doing all the same stuff. And to be honest, that's what I did with Thurge as well. So they have three subclasses, which I grouped together. Thurge himself is here. It's again really the same things that you did with Witch. You'll have to do to Thurge. And just a few things off the top, right? I'm a little disappointed. I thought for sure I would be able to have a class have um, two sources of magic. For those who don't know, this class can cast both um, arcane and divine spells, and you have to just keep a certain amount of each group here with him. So in some ways, he's almost like a multi-class wizard slash cleric. However, one difference is as you get to higher levels, he can hold concentrations on two spells at once at disadvantage. At a high level, and he has some other abilities as well. But those abilities, I'll say, break him break too many D&D rules the way found I should say 5e rules the way Foundry is set up. So like if I were to unlock this guy and I go here, you can see I can't give him another spell casting to pick another cleric spell or to click divine I should say, right? Because here I have him as an arcane caster using intelligence. So I would set him up as that, make his key ability intelligence, like it says in the book. Make him an arcane caster, and I mean, if you have to create a Theurge and you have to give him clerical spells, I have a test one here somewhere. Here we go. Well, didn't give him any spells yet, but theoretically, you could just go here and sorry, spells. Just grab me a spell. This drag and drop one. You can drag and drop any spell on here, right? Let me get the actual real spell so I can show it is definitely cleric, right? So if I go under, oops, my bad. Spells, spells, spells. Thank you. Give me let's do this. Let's do third circle. Let's do revivify. That is definitely a divine spell. No problem. So you can take any spell for any character, not just Thurge, and drag and drop it onto the character sheet and give him that spell, right? So the downside of this is that if you use the screens that come with Foundry to level up your character, you're just not going to get the options for cleric. You're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way, like I did here, and drag and drop, right? The rest of it is fairly straightforward. Like we did before, replace anything that says features with a new feature and drop all the stuff appropriately. Um, as well as for improvement, you have to put the magical talents in there. It doesn't have that in 5e, so you got to add that on to all the improvements. You do that and add things like the weapons and the key ability. You'll be good. It will work as well. Same thing with these guys, right? Now some of these subclasses in Deep Magic are really funky, right? This Domir Crafter, whatever. He has a lot of funky abilities, as you see here. Some of these guys, you could draw parallels to almost a sorcerer in the way that they're set up. Some of the other subclasses as well, not just the ones under Theurge. So, I've been talking to Makita on the side, right, and just trying to figure out is it worth trying to set up everything you would for like sorcerer points or what they used to call key points back on the monk to try and track all the abilities on some of these subclasses? Probably not. I mean, they're not going to show up as a new thing on the character sheet, probably. So I would just say you have to realize that for some of these guys, there might have to be a bit more manual tracking. The character sheets and stuff is just not quite geared to it. But certainly playable. You can create a class for these guys and subclasses for the other guys. If you look now, like if I would go under, like here's my cleric. Here's my cleric. There he is. And if I try to choose a subclass for this third level cleric, like you can see, I'm getting all the options now from Deep Magic, right? There's beer domain, cat domain, and whatever else you got going on. So it's all there. You got a bunch of stuff, and I would just say because there's a lot of subclasses, I didn't go through and count them all across all the different books and such. I would just sit down and say, hey, what do you want to be? Do you want to be which, you know, I guess in your session zero, discuss with the person which subclass they might be thinking about taking. And then if you have to go in and fix that particular one, um, if you want to fix all, I mean, there's got to be at least 50 of them. Um, sure, pick at it over time, right? Whatever you want to do. But for me, I'm just going to make sure that they're imported, they look correct in here, and if someone requests it, I'll just, fix it ahead of time so they can pick it. If you check the spells, I haven't gone through all the spells yet, but as you can see for cantrips, right, I've got a whole bunch of ones here that are from Deep Magic. There's more than this. Someone pinged me the other day and saying, "Hey, going through all these Deep Magic spells is a pain in the butt," and they're not wrong. Um, I pointed him to No One, the No One person on Discord in Cobalt Press. He has a document that he's gone through not all, but quite a lot of spells. And I trust him enough that the ones he picked aren't going to be over, or underpowered, or poorly worded for the most part. There's so many spells. I'm sure there's some bad ones in there. Everyone makes, some some stuff when you're dealing with that volume, right? But he's pretty good and very thorough. So I for now just picked the ones that he picked, and I got to continue that for the other circles. I've only done cantrips so far, but it does give a lot more options now than what I had before for these guys. And I'll just go through all the stuff and like I showed before, right? You just have to go into once you've imported all your spells. I can lock this down now. Right, and you can see here I've kind of gone through some of these already as well, where I only have I've organized my deep magic spells, the ones that I have fixed, right? Like here's benediction. What you need to do to get it show up on your character list when they level up is you have to declare what source of magic it is. So you have to go through each spell, read it, and decide where to put it. So the fact that no one did a lot of that work, I'm piggybacking off of that. So you can see here for some of the ones that need review, like here's a lure, right? All you gotta do is fill that in. So just unlock it and pick what you want. And that's it. So I'm running through my spells, and like I said, I'll just pick it out over time and get the spells done. The characters I'll do later. That will get this into pretty good shape, and I'll have a lot more content for my TOV games. Probably next, I've already done Jest for my one campaign that I have going on. So Cobalt Press didn't sell a Foundry module, sadly, very sadly, for what was it? It was Castles and Crowns. Yeah, Castles and Crowns. So I got to recreate anything out of there. Um, I'll probably work on that next. I'll mention anything that I see. If I have any hints to try and speed up the import, I'm going to try and see if the PDF follows the same format as 5e. So I could just maybe, if I'm lucky, copy paste text. If I'm not lucky, then I'll have to do something else. But we'll see what works and what doesn't. But yeah. So as you saw in my previous video, I've got Theurge and Witch shows up as options when you pick a class, and in the subclass, all these guys are showing up. That's it. Leave comments on this video if you have any questions. You could always hunt me down on Discord as well. You'll see me on Cobalt Press site, not site, but Discord server, and we'll go from there. But yeah, another step in the right direction. That's it. Have a good one, folks. Laters.